Hey everybody, it's the last live of the bundle, most likely. Cheryl has already been talking about possibly going on and seeing if you had some questions. I'm going to be on Chef Yen's, Raw Chef Yen's Instagram, either at 7 or 8. I'm trying to figure out how our daylight savings time translates to Malaysia and if she knew, so I'm going to check in at both times. But for right now, we have a very cool thing to present. We're going to be talking about my favorite topic, kitchen appliances. And if for some reason you guys have been like, I don't know, out in the woods for the past 10 days, the 2024 Vegan Health Bundle is over $8,000 of digital vegan products that you can get for $49. I have over $200 worth of classes and ebooks in there alone. There are things from Dr. McDougall, different doctors, there's yoga, there's cooking, there's just really literally everything. And so I'm going to introduce you to the happy vegan couple and let them tell you a little bit about themselves. So welcome.
Hi there.
Hello.
We so appreciate you having us on. We know you've been doing this all this bundle week and you guys are amazing and I know you're exhausted, so we really appreciate this. So,
Start off the way.
oh, Georgie always likes to start out the way we do in our YouTube channel. So we do have a YouTube channel called Happy Vegan Couple, and this is how we always start out. Hey everyone, I'm Denise.
And I'm Georgie.
And we're also known as the Happy Vegan Couple.
Awesome. Super cute.
Doing that for some reason. So I'll just tell you a little bit about us. So we do have that YouTube channel, Happy Vegan Couple. And really the main reason we joined the bundle, this is our very first experience with it, is we just wanted people to visit our YouTube channel because we love doing it. And let me tell you what's on there. So Georgie is a great home trained cook. Didn't have professional culinary experience like some of the people in the bundle, but my gosh, he has learned how to make wonderful plant-based food that makes me so happy. And so what we like to do is we like to make videos of recipes that we've enjoyed eating, and then we like to put them on our channel, and Georgie does step-by-step instructions. And so people who don't have confidence in cooking, which always used to be me, I was really never a confident cook. So when we started our channel, I said, I want you to show everything so people like me don't have to be afraid, and especially to eat this wonderfully, beneficial food. We really want to help people, understand how to make that. So that's the major part of our YouTube channel are the cooking videos. It's mostly Georgie cooking. The last one we did was actually me because I feel like I make a great breakfast. That's really one of my main times I cook. And that was like an oatmeal video with oat groats, lots of fruit and stuff like that. And I think it'd be McDougall compliant too, for anybody following that program. And then the other thing we have on the YouTube channel is that I love to interview people. I've always done that throughout my life in different ways. And so I have done some interviews with people who have lost major amounts of weight and had major health transformations by switching from that, horrible standard American diet full of animal food and ultra processed to whole food plant-based. And these folks give great interviews. We talk about what happened before and then what the challenge was like and all the great benefits, later. So I have maybe, 4 or 5 interviews on Happy Vegan Couple with people like that. You might know Esther Loveridge. She was the first one I did, and she's like a great, resource for anybody. I love to share her. And then the other thing we do, so Georgie's the main one, for the Happy Vegan Couple YouTube channel. We are on Facebook as well, where we post things, And I just want to tell anybody who wants to come and subscribe to us, and hit that little notification bell. We will never overwhelm you with our videos because we just don't do them as much as some folks. And but what we do have, we think are valuable. So we hope you'll check us out. And then the other thing we do is I love to teach. And I'll just tell you the quick story how I got into this. I was actually a vegetarian starting at age 21. And I did that because of my love for animals. And when I was 21, I was waitressing in a restaurant, and I met somebody who was a vegetarian. She was a few years older than me, a manager. And when I learned you could live without eating animals, I was like, really? Because I didn't know. My mom cooked standard, way. And so I switched right there, but I did keep the dairy up till age 60. And then what happened at age 60 was I saw Forks Over Knives. And what an impressive documentary, right? And in that documentary, I listened to about the research from Dr. Campbell. I mean, right now from Dr. Esselstyn, and maybe they spoke about Dean Ornish. And I was like, really? Heart disease could be halted and possibly reversed? And my father has heart disease. And I was really upset because my father had heart disease for 30 years, created tons of emotions and anxiety and, sadness in our family, as he always was dealing with all the operations and all the fear and all of that. And I'm thinking, really? It could have been stopped if he would have had a fundamental diet change and the doctors didn't tell him. I mean, my mom heard the message, stop the red meat. So then she's all chicken and fish and kept up the dairy. And it didn't matter. He was on drugs and he had procedures and he still died of heart disease, at 81. So that really upset me, the lack of information from the medical community to patients. And I know why it happens. Doctors don't learn nutrition in medical school. Very sad, right? And so I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to learn this knowledge, this information. I'm going to study it, and then I'm going to teach it because I like to learn and teach. I do have a PhD in sociology. I've taught in various ways throughout my whole life in different kind of venues. And so I've created a class called Eat Plants, Prevent and Reverse Chronic Disease that I give out to different people. In some are like 1 or 2 weeks, some are 8 weeks, some have been 10 weeks, depending on the venue. And we don't charge. So that's what I want everybody to hear who might be watching this at some point. If you have a group, a club, an organization, and you want somebody to come and speak about whole food plant-based eating and you don't have a budget, we're there. We want to help you. We love to teach. That gives us purpose. I'm almost 72 years old. Georgie is going to be almost 69. And this really gives us a reason to live, besides just doing other things we enjoy, is helping people. And so just want to throw that out there. Okay, so that's kind of a little bit about us, what we do. But Georgie has a lot he wants to do for you today. He's actually going to make one of your bundle recipes, Kathy, and as well as talking about some unique appliances we use and what we do them for. And then he also made a dish for Cheryl because we learned this week that Cheryl loves cauliflower now. And we just figured, oh, we do too. We'll make a dish also with that he can tell you about. So I'm going to be quiet and let Georgie, if that's okay, kind of start some of the things that we were going to talk about.
Absolutely. I can't wait to see all the things happening. It looks beautiful already.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let Georgie go right now.
Hi, everyone. I'm Georgie. The first thing I'm going to do is make your dish from the bundle. It's a Instapot lentil soup that's just wonderful. I've got a bunch of the ingredients. I'm not going to tell you some of the amounts or anything, but I will tell you that there are 2 types of potatoes, a sweet and a Yukon Gold that I put in here. I'm using a red onion and carrots. And on the legume group, it's 3 different legumes that I'm using today. And I didn't have brown lentils, so I'm using green lentils. And then I'm using red lentils and, of course, split peas, yellow split peas. Let me go ahead and put all of this in the Instapot. And what's great about the Instapots is put it in there and walk away. I love the fact that I can put it in there and walk away. And I can even set the time where it's going to cook in 5 hours. Or if we go into town or something, I can set it for the time that it's going to cook. It's great. What a convenient little thing. We actually have 4 of them that we use. Sometimes I got all 4 on the counter. It's great. So let me go ahead and start the saute first on the Instapot. I'm making for her a cauliflower dish that has a yogurt coating and some seasonings and stuff. And it's in the oven right now. And it's browning up. And I'm going to make a little dip for that out of mint, parsley, garlic, and some yogurt. And I'm also going to show you about the yogurt that we make, which is a soy yogurt. And I actually made one last night, and it should be done in about 10 minutes or so. I'll show you what it looks like when it comes out and how I strain it, because that's the important part of the method that I use. And it comes out very, very thick, thicker than a Greek yogurt. I mean, you can actually put it in a spoon and hang it up there. So, that's great. I mean,
Nice.
and it's so cheap. I mean, one of these makes a big quart. That's quite a bit of yogurt for what the price, $2 or something. As long as it doesn't have any ingredients other than soy and water, then you can make it with that. Let's see, where am I at here? Okay, I can go ahead and put the onions in here. Wait till that gets a little hot. Can you give me a spatula?
This one?
Yeah.
Cheryl always asks the same thing when I ask for a spatula. She wants to know which one. And I'm like, there are 800. Any of them is great for right now.
Yeah. That over there is about 800.
Yeah.
Now, we've had problem getting organic garlic in Tucson for some reason. All the Whole Foods and Sprouts that we have, I haven't been able to find it. Even Trader Joe's, so it's kind of odd. So I had to get cut up pre-made garlic. It's just in water. So, and I need my measuring spoon, please.
I always keep that in the pantry for days that I just feel like I can't garlic. I just need to scoop.
It's like I love coming in the kitchen, and one of my passions is cooking. I can be in this kitchen for 4 hours, 5 hours, and go for it again the next morning. And I love to cook for people. When we have people over here and have potlucks and stuff, it's all about my passion opening up.
And I just want to tell you one thing he's doing that is so wonderful. So we volunteer at a thrift store a couple times a week. We have this great store near us, like with high quality merchandise, and they raise millions of dollars every year, for folks who need it. So I'm a cashier and he does other things. But every Wednesday, Georgie brings food. He brings something in the Instant Pot, a whole food plant-based dish. And we really are very whole food plant-based. And he serves all these people. There's tons of volunteers that work at this store, and they're all basically omnivores. And so we're showing them, that plant food is delicious aside from being healthy. And they run for his food when we come in. So we just love that, and I love that he does that, it's just so great.
It's the one plant-based meal they get a week,
And that's the best way for people to learn what whole food plant-based food is to actually taste it, because they think it's a lot of things that it's not. And they certainly aren't thinking about how delicious it can be.
Absolutely. In my teaching, when I first started these teaching classes, in my head was, okay, I'm going to do all the science first for many weeks, because it's such a paradigm shift. People really need to understand why eating this way is so healthy. But then I realized, what? I got to get to the food much quicker. Because you can hear all the science you want, but if that food's not going to taste good, forget it, right? And so I've really readjusted how I've done everything, and I start talking way earlier about the food, and if we are in person with people, then we're bringing the food. If we're not in person, we're doing the demos at least to show it. So, yeah,
Okay.
It makes such a difference.
I'm sorry. My Instant Pot's going. My onions are already turning translucent. I'm going to go ahead and add my garlic to it. Now, if your onions and garlic start sticking a little bit, add a little bit of water, vegetable broth. Don't add oil. I try to not use oil in our lives, but sometimes I like to have things, and I'll use a spritzer, like on my potatoes or something, and then I'll air fry them. And one of the things I love that about the Instapot is it comes with a attachment that's an air fryer, and I think it's perfect for the two of us.
And I just got to say, if by any chance Lavita is watching this, Lavita was a student of ours, and she just liked to take our classes repeatedly. She sent us an air fryer as a present. And she actually sent us other things, and we're like amazed that somebody did that to us. So I always like to have to say thank you whenever we talk about the air fryer to Lavita.
Okay,
how awesome.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put everything in.
So we are making Kathy's lentil soup.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the Instant Pot Lentil Vegetable Soup that is in the bundle. And we love eating lentils, and you know what I like? There are a couple things I loved about your recipe that we had not done before.
And last but not least, 5 cups of water. I'm gonna go ahead and shut off the saute.
So while he's doing that, I just want to tell you what I really liked about this recipe that made me want to make it. So when we've made lentil soup before, we've never done a lentil blend. And that was what was interesting about your recipe, you know, that you could put some different things together, like yellow split peas with red lentils, beluga or brown. So that was really cool to me, you know, that you had that. And then the other thing was you had 2 kinds of potatoes. So I love that because I'm always into that diversity of fiber, diversity of nutrients, right? So you had the sweet potato and a regular potato, you know, so those are things that I really liked about this, you know, and again, it's just so healthy. It's so whole food plant-based. So it's a great, you know, so I know it's going to taste good because I know you're an amazing cook. I've learned that this week for sure.
So now we push pressure cook, put the lid on, put pressure cook. We're going to go 10 minutes by your recipe.
And we have it on vent, right? I mean,
yeah.
on seal.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's it, hopefully. And then it'll be a natural release. Probably takes up to 15 minutes for that little silver button to go down. That's what I always try to, when I tell people about the Instapot, is when that button goes down, it shows you that the pressure is gone. But however, when you open that up, always open it away from you. Don't have your face over the top of it, or even your arm. I mean, I've seen people go like that and burn their arm. You know, so it's just being safe in the kitchen.
Now, do you have to reset that?
No.
Because you opened it? Oh,
no,
you don't?
No.
Oh.
So, and that's another thing with the Instapot. It's got a good memory. I don't know about mine.
Better than mine, I can tell you that. And a quick little thing about the lentil blend. So actually years ago at Whole Foods, they had a really cool blend called Autumn Lentils that they never had again. And sometimes you can find this blend in an Indian market, but not all the time. So sometimes you can get it on Amazon. But what I do most of the time is what you're doing, is just take some of the different lentils I have and just put them all together. And it's just a way too that if you have just not quite enough to make a whole dish of all those lentils, it's a great way to just go ahead and make it.
Wonderful. It's just such a great idea. You know, we didn't think of it on our own. So thank you, Kathy Hester.
So one of my little gadgets, I'm going to go ahead and make the cucumber and yogurt dressing here. Well, wait a minute. I'm going to go ahead and open up the yogurt now. Go ahead and show you that.
Oh my gosh, the soy yogurt we make, I love it. And I think Georgie has figured out this wonderful straining method. So this is kind of our unique appliances that you might not really think of as an appliance. A colander and a bowl. Because we're going to use this to strain. He's going to do the straining of the yogurt. So he just has created a great technique.
So this colander actually sits level almost in the bottom of the bowl. So I have to put a little dish in here to lift it up because quite a bit of water comes out of it. So just go ahead and do that. And don't let it sit in there because you're going to get about this much water in that bowl. The first thing, I got paper towels here. And I have a white cloth, a linen cloth. And what I do is I lay that inside the colander, and nice and neat looking. And then I take, these are the paper towels that split in half. So I'll take one and put it that way. And then I'll take a single one to reinforce that rip where it rips apart. And then I'll go the opposite way on this one. And then one more single. And then you can see I've got a little nest there. And then this yogurt, 15 hours in the Instapot. Takes a while, but you just set the little thing and walk away, and 15 hours later, you're going to be...
Let me give you a napkin.
Oh, I got
Which
that.
culture do you use to culture your yogurt?
What was the beginning?
You know, we use, I think I have it in the freezer. Let me see.
We used this one time.
It's the same one that James Sant was showing, and I don't know
Is
what
it Cultures for Health? It looks like it might be Cultures for Health package. Yeah, the Cultures for Health.
So
yeah,
we
that's a
only
good
used
one.
Yeah, we only used it the first time, and then after that, we just started using our yogurt. And the interesting thing is, somebody just came to visit and asked us for some of our starter. So she wanted to make yogurt, so we actually gave her a whole bunch of our yogurt, so she didn't have to use this.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
so what I do is I put about 2 tablespoons aside in a little Tupperware and put it in the fridge. Once I get low on the yogurt, I use that as my culture. And we've been doing this for, gosh, almost 8 or 9 months now, making the yogurt. So, you know, that's great. It's like sourdough. You just keep adding to it and it keeps alive. So then there's no water left in here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to pour it inside all of these paper towels and the towel that I have here.
And I was so happy we could make this because I was looking in the store for a long time for an organic soy unsweetened yogurt. Could not find it, you know, and that's what I wanted. I wanted the soy because it's higher protein, you know, than other things, and for the yogurt. And I like soy also for breast cancer protection. So I was so happy we could make this.
So now what I do is I just fold the paper towels little by little. The first one first, second one, until I got like a see, I don't know if you can see it. It's just folded up like a crunch wrap tortilla. Okay. Then you just take the white towel and fold it over. So voila, it's all going to be inside there. And it was kind of liquidy. And then I take, if you want to give me
Do we want
bowl.
this still cooking?
No, they're fine.
Okay.
Give me a bigger, one of those big blue bowls. And then what I do is I put a bigger bowl on top of this, like this. And then I put it in the refrigerator. I'll take this one out. I put it in the refrigerator with this bowl, and then I put like my bouillon sauce on top of that.
Great
Put
catch.
it in the refrigerator. I'm sorry?
Great catch, yeah.
And now that's going to sit in the fridge for several hours, and throughout the day, we'll empty some of the water. Well, okay, I'm taking his thing.
That's what marriage is all about, isn't it?
I'm just impressed.
No, I'm a talker.
She's a sous cook. She shouldn't be here. Oh, anyway.
I'm just impressed that you have that much room in your refrigerator that you can actually put that in there.
Yeah, I organized it so it could go there. You know, we have so much stuff in there. It's like when you eat all these vegetables, your refrigerator's full all the time.
We have a fridge and a freezer in our garage.
So
Extra. Let me empty
let
that,
me-
or you want to show
I'll
it
show
to
you
them?
how much water kind of came out of the yogurt.
Yeah, it makes a lot of whey. I know someone, I don't know if Marilyn's on right now, but she does a lot of recipes with the whey. She uses it and other things. I haven't really used it that much.
Uh-huh. Okay. So, container. Now I just unwrap the yogurt like I did. Well, unwrap it like I folded it, or different. I'm backwards. I'm sorry. And the yogurt doesn't stick to the paper towel. Somebody suggested, well, why don't you use cheesecloth? Well, the cheesecloth is, you can see through it, and the yogurt will just fall through it. It won't hold it.
And I found even when I like quadruple it up where it won't fall through, it sticks to it a lot. I feel like you lose a lot of it.
There's a lot.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Isn't he a great cook?
Okay. There's our
That's
yogurt.
great.
Nice.
It's pretty thick too. Okay, I'm going to use half a cup of that.
And I'll tell you one new use of it. Oh my gosh. So I was so excited also to meet Elspeth Feldman, the Speedy Vegan. So we did a live with her and we made her mango lassi. And I didn't have a mango lassi since I gave up dairy because when I go to the Indian restaurants, there'd always be dairy in it. And she had a recipe for it, of course, that was plant-based. And I'm using our soy yogurt in it with the frozen mango. Oh my gosh, I'm in heaven again, being able to drink that and love that, mango, yogurt, little cardamom. Oh my goodness. So I was so happy to, meet her as well and see her bundle contribution. Yeah, I mean, the bundle's got so much in there that's so amazing. And one of the exciting things for me, as a teacher is now I have more resources to share with people, like the Cooking with Kathy Hester and, all these other people. I'll be absolutely sharing this with folks. So it's exciting.
Now this would be a perfect spread to put on some cucumber slices or something like that. I'm going to thin it out a little bit to make it a little bit of a dip. So I'm going to use a little bit of soy yogurt. Soy milk that I have.
Now Mona is asking if this recipe is in the bundle. So what do you want to talk about what you have in the bundle too, or do you want to wait a minute?
We'll go ahead and do that. Yeah, you do that while I'm doing this.
So what we did for the bundle is a video course on making a Mexican meal. And we created, I think, 6 new videos to show all the different elements of the Mexican meal. And so basically what it is to show you how to make a delicious burritos, tacos, or Mexican bowls. And so as part of that video course, we have a video that showed 2 stuffings. One was made in the Instant Pot with lentils and spices. So it's like a spiced lentil. And the other one was made on the stove, just in a pan, with cauliflower, mushrooms, and walnuts. So you have 2 different kinds of stuffings, or you can mix them, which I like to do, because you can just never eat enough diversity of plant food in my mind. So that's the major stuffing. And then one of the dishes that Georgie really loved to make is something from his childhood called calabacitas, which is a Mexican dish with squash. But he would always talk about, it was full of cheese and oil and all that stuff. And so, of course, he made it, oil-free, and we have a nutritional yeast in there, to help that cheesy flavor. And so that calabacitas is a wonderful dish. And that would be really, I think, McDougall compliant. It's very low fat, like there's really no ingredient in there that's like, of a higher fat kind of thing. So great dish for that. And then we love eating potatoes every time we eat Mexican. So we made some air fried potatoes that we also put, with all the rest of it. So that was one. And then he makes guacamole, and one of the other things she showed me, I could never pick an avocado in the store, and know that when to open it. It just escapes me. But Georgie has this idea, and you probably know it, Kathy, where you look at the little end of it and the color changes, right? So he knows that. He talks about that. And so he likes to make guacamole, with his little spices, and that's one of the videos. And then, of course, we have a video showing how to plate everything up. So that was a specific video itself, showing the burrito, the taco, I think the bowl. And then, of course, we had dessert. And it wasn't a traditional Mexican dessert, but everybody likes sweet. And we do have a Mexican plant-based restaurant here in Tucson, and they serve brownies. So we decided to go with our dessert with some sweet potato brownies that I just think are wonderful. And actually, I can show you kind of what it looks like. Because what I do is I bake them. He bakes it after we make it, and then I put it in the freezer after we cut it, because it's kind of a soft consistency.
Let me do my...
Yeah, okay. He's going to show you something.
That sounds yummy.
It's not appliance, it's a gadget. It's a potato peeler, okay?
Ooh.
It would kind of look weird, but you put it on your finger like that, so you're holding it. So you're going to be going like that. It also has a little safety thing here, but I'm going to peel my cucumber because I need a little bit of cucumber for that. So you just put it in your hand just like that, hold the cucumber.
Nice.
So much faster and easier than using that potato peeler,
Can I set the oven?
Nice. Yeah, you can. I found 2 of these. So, well, actually, I had 3 of them, and somebody that came to the thrift store that we go to or that we volunteer at, I was talking to her about it, so I gave her one. So I
In
Aw.
fact, we have our gadgets and appliances at the thrift store. So that is, I just want to show, I'm going to hold up the little
Okay.
brownie. It's frozen right now, but I'm just going to show you kind of what it looks like. Our sweet potato brownies. Can you see that there?
Yeah, that looks delicious.
When it
I want a big
defrosts,
bite right now.
gets that wonderful fudgy, because all it is sweet potato, peanut butter, a little date syrup, and walnuts. That's all that
Wow.
is, all those wonderfully healthy ingredients. And then, when I want a little enjoyment like this, I'll just take it out of the freezer, let it frost for like 15 minutes, and then it's like nirvana.
Oh, you had me at brownies with walnuts.
Yes, yes.
Next, I'm going to go ahead and shred my cucumber for my dip. You don't have to squeeze the water out of this or nothing. It'll just help moisten up the dip a little bit. Oops.
And I really like having a dessert that's not flour based, and I just love that idea of a sweet potato, as the kind of the main consistency of that dessert. And then, of course, the walnuts will give you those omega-3 fatty acids and fiber and protein. And, of course, the cacao. There's cacao in that, unsweetened cacao. That's the other one I forgot. So great antioxidants in that, right? No sugar in that cacao. Date syrup, the best sweetener you can use, right? Because that measured date will still have fiber in it, as well as, the other plant nutrients. So that's like such a great sweetener.
Okay, move these out of the way. So, let's see. Let me come up to the computer and we can see my cauliflowers. Can you see them?
Yeah,
Yes,
those are
they
awesome.
look great.
And that dip
Nice.
looks great.
The smoked paprika in this is delicious.
Oh, I love smoky
Oh, it
foods.
looks so good.
Smoked paprika and liquid smoke are like my faves.
Oh yeah, definitely. When I used to cook, I cooked at a lot of restaurants when I was younger. Like steakhouses, that kind of stuff, and I always got stuck cooking the vegetables, which was fine with me because I could never do the meat thing properly at that time. It's like make it medium, like that. So I always got stuck doing the vegetables. So I learned how to chop the vegetables quick, and it was just something that I grew up in life. And then later on in my life, I got married, and my wife was gone 14 hours out of the day, so it was my job to feed the kids, get breakfast, and all of that for them. So I took on the role of being cook of the house, and that's what I've done all my life. Totally, we're into cooking. You give me a recipe. I'm not a hands-on. I can cook, but I'm not a recipe developer.
Like Kathy.
Like
That's
you
what
are.
Kathy is.
I just love. I know I can put things together, and she's astonished. I can come in here. She'll say, "I'm hungry," and I'll get home, and in 30 minutes we've got dinner on the table. Because I can figure out step by step. And one of the things that I like to do is before I make anything, I take everything out of the cabinets, like the seasonings, my vegetables that I'm going to need, and put them on the counter so I'm not going back and forth while I'm cooking. And it makes it so much easier, if you have all your seasonings there and all the vegetables, you're standing right there. You're not jogging. It might be good to get your 10,000 steps in a day, but
So I just want to, now we're
Right.
cooking down now. So Kathy's dish in the Instant Pot is now, it reached pressure and now it's cooking down that 10 minutes. So just letting you know that that's going on.
Okay, well, let me show some of my little gadgets that I
Okay,
have.
show some more food.
And so James had asked, are the brownies in the bundle? And yes, they are in the bundle, James.
Jamie.
Yes, and
Oh, Jamie, I'm sorry.
specifically showing you how to make the brownies. And then besides the videos, of course, all the recipes are written out for you in the bundle as well, like with a photograph. So you know you have them both ways. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
excited to see this one. I have something similar. Yeah, it's awesome.
This makes life, if you're a busy person and you don't have the time to chop vegetables, this is a gadget to have. I use it for a lot of our potatoes. It actually anchors to the counter.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And it comes with 2 different blades. One is a smaller one, a just small cube that you can cube with. What I did is I cut a potato in half to show you the 2 different ways that I can do this. French fries. Look at that. Perfect little cut.
Nice.
And then the next one, we'll just go ahead and just change the blade. And it's real easy to change the blade. There you go. I did that. Then this one, let me see. Does it go up or goes
Did
down?
you show them the French fry?
What?
Did you show them the French fry? I mean,
Yeah, I
did you
showed
see
the
it?
French
Oh.
fries. And the other one just pops out the bottom. You put this one in. Just
So
like
it's
that.
almost like a spiralizer in the way that you're changing the blade. So it's pretty easy.
There you go. I changed the blade so I can make a different thing or a smaller French fry.
Wow, those shot out there.
Look at that. 2
Yeah.
different sizes, thickener or thing. And then you can, if I would have taken my potato and sliced it in about 1/4 inch slices or 1/2 inch slices, and then put it in here, I would have had cubes instead of French fries. So it's a time saver, you know. I mean, I use this for apples, potatoes, any of the harder vegetables. The other ones, I kind of like. I enjoy cutting myself. You know, I just enjoy. I even have a callus on my finger here from all of the chopping that I do.
That's awesome.
Is a spiral. Okay, all you do is you put your vegetable there. You can do this with zucchini, anything that you want to spiralize. Oops, put it on there, and this makes a nice little cute little mushroom when I'm done. And as you're turning this, you just kind of put some pressure on it so that it keeps cutting at an even rate.
Cheryl's excited about the ribbon potatoes.
Nice.
That's
Look at
beautiful.
that. Ribbons. You know, you put them in the oven, make a little basket, and then put something on top of that. And then, like I said, it makes a cute little mushroom.
It's the most adorable thing. I just love those little mushrooms. It is like so fun if you're going to eat that, right? You put that in the air fryer or the oven or whatever. That is so adorable. Do you believe how lucky I am? I bet there's some women watching, you know, who maybe have a spouse that doesn't do any cooking. And I, got this guy. So we're lucky, right?
It's exactly right.
I know.
My next little gadget's a mandolin, and it's got a lever here that will lift the blades up to give you different size cuts for like a shoestring.
Oh,
Turn it
nice.
thin or thick. And it also has an adjustment for the blade here. This is the blade here, and you can make it as thick or thin as you want. Now, the blade also comes off. Be real careful because it's sharp, sharp, sharp. You can put in a crinkle cut or a grater or a cheese grater. It's got three different things. So I'll just go ahead and put this back in. Very simple. And I'll just take, what did I do with it? Oh, I got a zucchini here. And I'll just show you. You can, for your, like when you make cucumber wraps or zucchini wraps, this is the ideal thing to make it because when you let me see, about that thick. With a knife, you can't get the same thickness when you're cutting. But with this, you can. Like I said, be very careful because that blade can be sharp. to get me started, I'm just going to go a couple times.
And there's also some gloves you guys can buy that can protect your hand in case it does come in contact
Exactly.
with the blade.
Now this is kind of like you can see they look like little octopuses. That's what I make to make noodles out of, or when I'm doing my uh, spring rolls. And then I just cut that off.
Ah.
Let me see that. Where's that? Where's my knife? So I've already got my julienne for my spring rolls. So I'll just do one without that. Did that come out? Oh, there we go. You can't see those things are very, very. Oh, okay, there we go. And there you got a zucchini. You can make it thinner, and you can use that as a. Well, I made it too thick. But you've got the idea. And
Yeah, you
use.
can roll it up, or you can. Have you ever used those for instead of lasagna noodles too? Those
Yes.
work really well.
Right, you can, and eggplant for your eggplant lasagna. This is a
Yeah.
perfect little.
Actually,
cut.
he just brought to the Golden Goose, the store we volunteer at. He actually just brought, I think, a week ago, an eggplant lasagna, and that's exactly right. Like he made the thin strips, and he
Yum.
made, mozzarella type cheese out of like cashews, which we're going to have on our YouTube channel sometime soon. We haven't done that yet, so just want to remind people, check out our YouTube channel, Happy Vegan Couple. That was the main reason we joined the bundle, so people could discover us because we're not famous like, Kathy and Cheryl are.
I'm not.
I don't know how
She
famous
is.
I am. I know that I try to do my best for the community is all.
Yeah.
Well, you deserve to be famous because you've been doing this for a long time with high quality efforts, and now I see why. So, I'm so happy that you're well known.
Now I'm gonna. This is called a brand is called Yanano, and you can make gelato or an ice cream with this thing. Pretty easy.
And we got it at our thrift store.
I'm a big fan of buying things at thrift stores because sometimes you can find blenders, air fryers, dehydrators, slow cookers, and I always tell people if they're on a real budget, that's the first place to go.
Right. Well, what I got here is 2 cups of frozen fruit, and I let it thaw out a little bit because if it's totally hard, it's going to take the machine too much to work. So I'll put a little bit of strawberry.
And this is such a wonderful dessert, right? You don't need anything but the fruit. There's no reason you need an added sugar.
So
This is sweet by itself. So this is so fantastic.
I put a strawberry, a little bit of mango, and now one more strawberry, and then the plunger, and we're
It's
going
going
to
to
just
make noise.
turn it on. It'll make noise.
It won't be long now. Look at that. That looks awesome. So,
Wow, that's fast.
yeah.
And it's so pretty because you're doing the different colors of fruit. So, you can mix this up in so many different ways.
It looks way better than coming out of the Yonana, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, for sure.
I got the expensive Yonana actually at the thrift store for like $10, the one that's $200, but I passed it on.
Wow. So look at this. Who wouldn't want this? Why go to the store and spend
Yum.
money on vegan ice cream that's going to be still probably high in saturated fat? So many of those ice creams use coconuts, and then they add the sugar. Why do that when you can do this? This is just fruit, nothing else, and you're getting all those polyphenols and the fiber and all that wonderful nutrients. I love it. And I know you're into like the nice cream and doing all those kinds of recipes as well. So that would be another, great dessert, right?
Absolutely. And Apple says that's the texture I prefer for ice cream, soft serve, and she says she can do that in her juicer. And Portobello Rose says that's similar to her first champion juicer, the juicer you just used.
Yeah, just like and like Denise was saying, except for two of our Instapots, they all came from our thrift store. You know, all of those little gadgets I just showed you. You know, the potato peeler. You know, and it's like it's you said it. If you're on a budget, there's nothing wrong with that. And if you know some of the thrift stores are questionable, you know, you got to make sure that you test on the appliances and everything. Where we work, they test everything, and they, you know, if we want to return something, they don't qualm about it, and they're very good about donations and stuff, and we love to do that. You know, like I said, most of my little gadgets, and I have like I said, 4 Instapots. I have 3 food processors. What else do I have? I have 2 Vitamixes, and the one Vitamix that we bought the bottom. We needed to get the top, but the bottom was only $12.
So I
That's
wonder,
amazing.
Wow.
You know,
have you shown all the things that you wanted to show? Because if you did, I'm going to share just a little bit of
except for-
knowledge
except
before
for-
we go.
let
Okay.
me just one more thing.
Okay. I always like to share something that might be helpful in helping you maximize your nutrition. So I just got a little thing that I might want to share if we have a few minutes left.
Oh, absolutely. You have time.
Oh, okay.
So speaking of the goose, these are some bowls that I've got from there.
Oh,
You know,
cute.
There's another type of flour one. Look at that. And you put food on, and people are going to say, "Oh my God, it's so gorgeous!" You know. I'm not saying that my food tastes bad, but I mean the presentation.
Never hurts, right? Especially when maybe people are trying vegan food for the first time. Doesn't hurt to have things look pretty.
Look at this. This is our latest.
I just picked up this one. It was $6.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Oh, that's nice.
Isn't that amazing how gorgeous that is? Oh.
So it's been fun and let me share cooking with you and everything. You know, like I said, it's my passion. I love to cook, and if you need a gadget and I can find it cheap and you don't live too far away, just call me and I'll get it for you.
That's awesome.
Shipping to North Carolina would probably, not make it worth the price anymore. But
Yeah.
are we now? We're in the natural
Yeah,
release.
we're letting it naturally.
Okay, so Kathy's soup that we made from the bundle is we're just letting it have a natural release, and we'll be able to show it and plate it in a few minutes. But this one thing that I would love to talk about is maximizing our fiber, particularly because we all know how important fiber is, and of course most Americans are deficient in fiber. And sometimes when people are transitioning, they're kind of going out and eating some of those more processed vegan foods, and they may not be they'll have fiber, but not as much as eating like the whole foods by themselves. So, one of the greatest places to get fiber is our whole grain. But one of the things I always notice is that when a lot of recipes, the grain that's often used in the whole food plant-based community is brown rice, which of course is a wonderful grain and it's very affordable and we all know about it. But I actually started realizing that some whole grains actually have a little more nutrition, actually significantly more nutrition than brown rice when you're comparing two nutrients, which is fiber and protein. So I made a little chart, and I use this when I teach to show people, like, why don't you try some of these other whole grains and not just stick with the rice? Because you're going to, besides getting diversity, you're going to get more fiber and more protein. So this is what I'm going to show you. So I have little 3 pieces of paper that Dorothy's going to hold up while I show you these little charts. So in the first one, and what we're doing, we're comparing the same serving size of all these grains, which is 1/4 cup dry. And I'm comparing everything to brown rice, short grain brown rice. All right, so this is the first chart that Georgie's going to show, and hopefully you can see it all. So if we compare wild rice to brown rice, you see it's got the same amount of fiber, but actually significantly more protein. It might go up even to 7 grams of protein. The different packages have different amounts depending on where they're grown and things like that. If you compare quinoa, which we all know is a great protein grain, which is really a seed, a grass, again, it's almost like it's double the protein from the rice, though the fiber is the same. So you can even see in that chart, you can do a little better with quinoa and wild rice, on at least for the protein nutrient. Now, in our next one, we're going to look at a bunch of grains that all have the same amount of protein and fiber. And that is, we're looking at whole wheat berries, whole wheat buckwheat groats, whole oat groats, what I eat every morning, and pearl farro. And they're all the same. They all have 5 grams of fiber and 6 grams of protein. And again, it's that's significantly more than your brown rice, which is just 3 and 3. So you can see, again, you diversify, you can get a little more nutrition. But now here's my gold star, and I love to use this grain. I don't know, Kathy, if you might want to guess what one that I found has even more fiber than what I just showed, and I mean, really a great fiber grain. Do you want that I haven't shown yet? You want to?
I don't even know that I want to guess because you've kind of already talked about some of my favorites, which are like oat groats and quinoa, right? So I can't wait to see.
There it is. Whole barley.
Ah,
Days. I hope you see that gold star because I put a gold star on it. 8 grams compared to 3 grams of rice, 8 to 3, 6 grams of protein compared to 3 grams of rice. Why would you not want to? Okay, honey. Why would you not want to eat whole barley more, right? If you can find it. So we buy it. Sadly, it's not like easily available. That's the problem. So we find it at a store called Natural Grocers, which we have. I don't know if everybody else has that by them, but you could also find it online. But that is one of the better grains, and and all these grains look very similar. Georgie, do we have the whole barley in the closet? Don't we have it in the jar? Okay, he's going in one of our back rooms. We have all these grains sitting there just for rooms because like Natural Grocers is always out of oat groats by us. So we'll buy a case because I eat that every single day. So this is what the whole barley looks like. And all these grains are really similar to rice. So that's my little thing. Diversify your grains, get more nutrition from the fiber protein, just even the different fibers, the different, plant or compounds in your different grains will help your microbiome, grow the best healthy bacteria for you. And then it'll eat the fiber in those grains and give you those short-chain fatty acids that are so valuable for our health. So I love to eat these grains, and I'm sure you guys are eating that, right? Is doing McDougal.
yes, I don't eat barley that much just because I'm supposed to not eat very much gluten, and there is gluten in barley. But I've seen some really great flours with it, baked goods, so many different things that people have used barley for instead of like regular whole wheat. So I think it's a great thing for people who can have it.
Yeah. And the one other little tip I want to leave people, because I don't always hear people talk about this, and I've learned this from Dr. Greger and a few other doctors. So like when we made our cauliflower today, which is a cruciferous vegetable, before Georgie put it in the oven, he actually cut it all up and he let it sit on our counter, or you could put it in the fridge for 40 minutes. This is what I've learned from Dr. Greger at nutritionfacts.org, that scientific research shows that if we let these cruciferous vegetables sit on our counter for 40 minutes after we cut the cell wall, a chemical reaction occurs which actually blooms this beautiful antioxidant called sulforaphane. And sulforaphane is anti-cancer, anti-inflammation. And if all you do is like put this on heat right away, you don't bloom it. Because in order to bloom it, you need an enzyme to make this reaction. And when you put this on heat, immediately the enzyme is destroyed. It's deactivated. So that's why you cut it up, sit it on your counter for 40 minutes. The enzyme is not deactivated. It does its work, blooms sulforaphane, and you get so much more nutrition. And again, why wouldn't you want that? So that's all cruciferous, broccoli, bok choy, the leafy greens like kale, collard greens, all cruciferous vegetables. That's a wonderful tip. and a similar one with onions and garlics in that family, but it's a much shorter time on your counter, only 10 minutes with onions and garlics. And then you bloom the antioxidant in those foods that will give you, again, way more like anti-cancer protection, anti-inflammation. So I love to share that with people because not everybody knows that.
We're getting close to the end now. So this hasn't released all the pressure yet. So I'm going to go ahead and do a manual release.
So it has been 11 minutes. So it's
I like to
That's
put
plenty.
I keep and put a paper towel over it so it doesn't spray all over the place.
And then I'm going to video it so you can take some
And see, even that steam can burn your arm. You know, if you put your over that, so it doesn't have that much in there.
And I'm going to put some of your bundle recipe, Kathy, in one of my favorite bowls. That, of course, I got from the thrift shop. I love it. So we're going to bless the bowl with your dish. And
Now,
then you
Jamie
can,
is asking, how do you cook hulled barley? Do you guys have a basic recipe that you
yeah, it's
use?
just an Instant Pot. So it's just like, I think like 25 minutes or so in the Instant Pot with some water. You know, I can't remember exactly.
It's 1 cup to 3 cups, and I believe the cook time is 25 minutes. And you'll have to, if it's still liquidy, just strain the water out of it.
Oh, yeah, there's always water usually that we strain out.
You know, like when I cook my oat groats, I always strain my oat groats before I put them away. You know, because the liquid, it's just, you know, just dump it out. It's not like cooking rice where the rice dissolves in liquid. You know, when you're cooking the grains, the harder grains like that, you're going to have excess water.
I know, I can't wait to have this for lunch. But I mean, what a great meal we're going to have, right? We're going to have beautiful soup with great protein. We're going to have wonderful cruciferous vegetables, you know, giving us that anti-cancer, anti-inflammation, the beautiful fruit sorbet for dessert. I mean, how could anybody not want to eat like this?
Yeah, I would take some of your food tonight, that's for sure, in a heartbeat.
Well, I want you to know, Kathy and Cheryl, if you ever want to come to Tucson, we used to do Airbnb before the pandemic. We have a nice room and we'd be happy to have you in it if you want to take a little visit to Tucson, and then we can all eat together and enjoy. So just know that we're always available to you.
I don't know if you could see it.
You can see it. If you can lift it up just a tiny bit. Oh, that looks great.
Perfect. Nice.
Okay.
Yum.
It's probably a little hot right now to
Just take a
taste.
little bit, blow on it.
Well, I know it's kind of hot. It looks beautiful with all the colors of the sweet potato and the different, the lentil blend with the split peas. He's easier with hot stuff than I am. So just want to tell everybody the bundle is ending tonight. This is
Delicious.
like one of the last lives, you know, the one that Kathy's doing. $39 for this amazing content worth $8,000 if you were to buy it separately. I am just absolutely astounded by the quality of the content. And so anybody who's like not yet totally into this lifestyle and wants to be, this is the knowledge for you. And if you're already doing it, now you have a lot more creativity and recipes and things to choose from. And you also probably still learn something, even from the medical information. Okay, it's not too hot?
No, if I put it in the freezer. No, I blew on it.
Oh, that is just yummy, just delicious. That's just as a, you know, I know you're a great cook, recipe developer. So thank you so much for everything you're both doing, you know, for the community and helping people be healthy. You know, that's what we're after. Our main thing really is we don't want chronic disease, you know, if we can avoid it, you know, and nothing's 100%. We might get something tomorrow, but we're doing our real best to try to avoid it so that we can have the remaining years of our life, because we are older. We want to have quality life. We don't want to be slumped in a wheelchair. You know, we want to be active and all of that. And we really believe, I mean, again, I've researched all of this with all of the doctors and all that's the science they share. And I totally believe in this lifestyle. You know, the evidence is overwhelming. And I just wish all the people who are eating omnivore diets they could understand that. But slowly but surely, one plate at a time, one person at a time, one heart at a time. That's what we're after. So thank you so much.
She always uses the word old. But you know what? I'm 68, gonna be 69, and I don't feel 69. I mean, I feel like I'm in my 40s still, and if I needed to, I could get out there and walk down to Tucson if I needed to, which would be 20 miles. I wouldn't have a problem with it. I know I could do it, and that's what people need to realize. The way we eat is going to help you.
And one of the main benefits, we didn't tell you this earlier, but he became vegan partly because I told him about this, and his former wife died from an awful illness, and he already saw the writing on the wall, and he was falling in love with me.
I fell in love with her. That's the excuse.
Okay, but the thing was, Georgie, throughout his life, used his body for work. He was, a physical worker. And when I met him, he would tell me his hands hurt him. He had arthritis. And when he became plant-based, what happened?
Almost instantly, I lost the pain. I'd wake up in the morning, my hands would be throbbing. And almost, within 2 or 3 weeks, that pain went away. I was able to use, and my fingers were starting to do the crooked thing, but they've stopped. They haven't gone any farther in the last 10 years. So I'm really happy about that. And then it was all of the dairy and cheese that I ate. I know it was.
And the meat. And, and I don't have any of the diseases of my parents. That's the last little thing I probably want to just share. My parents were really sick. And like I told you, I got into this because of my father's heart disease. And I was upset that no doctor told my father he could have done something different. But he had heart disease. He had Parkinson's. My mom had terrible osteoarthritis. She had many surgeries because of her joints. And then the worst thing is my mother actually had Alzheimer's, literally laid in a bed for 15 years, losing her mind. And I have none of their issues. And I have to believe it's my lifestyle, and that's why I'm such a believer in it, because it's almost 72 years old. I have energy. I work out hard at the gym. I have vitality. Yes, my skin is sagging. I'm not happy with that.
It's not magic. It doesn't take 40 years off of me. I don't look, people are like, oh, are you out of high school yet? Right? Because it's just natural as well. But I think it is about kind of what Jordy was saying about how you feel is the absolute most important thing. I got plenty of wrinkles myself.
And one of the things,
Kathy, I don't see them.
they're there.
They're there, trust me. I turn 59 next month, so I'm excited.
Yeah.
Well, I actually was amazed at the live you did earlier today with Jane from the UK. If I remember, she said she was 76, and I'm looking at her face, and I'm going, I don't see any kind of sagging at all. So I don't know why she's like that, but I'm glad, what everything's working for her good.
Well, when we did McDougal's, when you talk about the inflammation stuff, I was kind of reluctant to do any of the stuff, and I could not deny how much better I felt in just 4 days. In 4 days, my inflation started to go away so fast. You could see it in
on
my
her
ankles.
Calves. Yeah, her
my
calves.
ankles just went down to skinny little chicken legs, in 4 days.
And what we always... Oh, go ahead, sweetheart. I'm sorry that I interrupted you.
That is just a beautiful, inspiring story for anybody to hear.
Absolutely. And I just always like to tell people, just try to just be curious. Do an experiment. Try, if you think it's not going to do anything for you, try eating that way for 7 days. And then if it doesn't, check it off. Mm-hmm. But what if it does?
Right.
Right?
And guess what? In the bundle, we talked with Rosie Montaya. Her bundle contribution is a 7-day meal plan. So there you go.
There you go. Exactly.
And it makes it look easy. And I think the thing is that sometimes, I know I personally, maybe that's a better way to put it, make life a lot more difficult than it needs to be, right? It's very easy to go, oh, I don't want to do that. You can spend more time grousing about something than it actually takes, There are a couple of things I don't like washing up that I will definitely do that about.
This is how we can always tell if how good an appliance, like how well made an appliance is as far as for cleanup and stuff like that. If she doesn't have to call me in to come clean it after she's done using it, then it gets my seal of approval. Right?
She's much more detailed. I'm a little more creative, mad scientist-y. I'm wearing my mad scientist-y shirt today. And she's very meticulous. There's like the things I just can't focus on long enough to clean well, she gets in there and gets all the perfectness. But let things make your life easier, like the tools that they were showing you today.
Yeah, she's not domestic at all. You know,
I'm a head person. You know, I love creating curriculum. I love teaching. I love listening to all the lectures, everything, you know, you're showing with the cooking. That I love all of that.
Well, one thing I will say is I've known Denise, well, I've been her partner now for almost 11 years, and she hasn't broke down. That's the best dishwasher I've ever bought. You know?
And that's worth a lot. A lot. Like, even through bundle week, like, I haven't done that terribly many demos. I kind of arranged it because this was my 3rd year, so I tried to be smart, work smarter, not harder. But she's been cleaning up the kitchen and making our oatmeal, so we wake up in the morning when I'm just, because I'm very much an introvert. Like, I love talking to people, but then I have to go and rest. So like 32 lives in 10 days it's a lot. It's kind of like going away with a whole group of people for 10 days.
I told her before we started, I said, and she was like, I'm just really tired and I'm going to have to rest for a few days. And I said, well, basically, like for you just went to 32 parties in a week. Yeah. And I said, or 32 trips to Target in a week.
No, thank you.
Well, thankfully you have wonderful food, you know, that really gives you energy, you know, to maintain, because that's what people always say, right? I mean, when they transition, or we hear that with the athletes, oh my gosh, I have more energy, my recovery time is shorter. I mean, plants are so powerful.
They
are.
I'm sold on it now.
Yeah, we went on the vegan cruise for a couple years, and one was 10 days, one was 7 days. Well, the 10-day one was we had to take 10-day vacation once we got home because we were so tired. We were volunteering on the boat and, you know, kind of like being ushers for the door and everything. And it was a lot of fun. It was great. We met a lot of people. So
and learned a lot. You know, I mean, sitting in all those lectures, you know, for 2 years, I just learned so much, you know, that I could use in my teaching. So I was so thankful for that.
Oh, wow. Would you do it again? Are you doing any other cruises coming up then?
Seasick.
Both times. And I tried medication. Like the first time I didn't bring anything and I used these little pills that they gave you on the boat. They didn't really work. The second time I got this patch, but that didn't really work well either. Part of it was like made my mouth so dry that I felt like I couldn't talk, it was uncomfortable, and I still felt nauseous. So I'm fortunate to do that again, you know, but it's just sad.
We've never gone on a cruise, so I have no idea. Like, I don't know if it will end up being a good thing or a bad thing. We think about it, and I was supposed to speak on like a blogger business cruise in 2020, which obviously got canceled. That was going to be our first experience with it. But
we go back and forth on whether or not like we really can handle it, because then we don't know like about the seasick and things like that. So
yeah, and you know,
spend all that money and then spend the whole time sick.
Right. Honestly, for me, the typical cruise activities don't really interest me much, and you know, for me it was really the doctor's lectures, because when you go on the vegan cruise, the holistic holiday at sea, there are lectures all day long, you know, and I was really in that learning stage, and so I was just soaking it up. But you know, other than that, because I don't gamble, and you know,
we don't either.
Stuff wasn't interesting to me so much, and the excursions are typically very expensive and all of that. You know, so you got to just know what your personality is, you know, and what you like.
We did do the singing in the
Well, they don't know about that, honey.
I know, but
So what he was saying is, on that particular cruise, they have a talent show.
and we were
that
singing.
Oh.
that be in. So we 2 times, even though we have horrible voices, we were sharing these little chants we learned that were just like about kind of universal love and this and that, just to get the whole audience involved. And we were trying to find somebody who actually had a good voice, but it didn't work out. So we were like, we really don't have a good voice.
Took a lot of guts to get up there in front of all those people.
But we just wanted to do something, like I said, kind of peaceful, loving for everybody.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
a fun memory, you know.
It sounds really good. We're getting, some people are like, absolutely not cruises, floating petri dishes. And I go back and forth, black and white with that. Sometimes I'm like, there is no way I'm going to be on a boat with that many people and their illnesses, as far as, you know.
Yeah.
It makes me a little nervous. But then, like, I think it was 2 nights ago, because I've been staying up later trying to have my own a little alone time. And I was looking at, there's a new new Disney cruise, and they have a haunted mansion bar, and haunted mansion and like spooky stuff is our thing. And I was like, so really what I want to do is just, the boat can be parked. I just want to go have my little mocktail and then come back. I don't need to have the entire cruise experience.
Right.
And then I found another one. It has a Star Wars bar. And we're not big drinkers, so like literally we'll go there and probably have a mocktail.
Well, and then the other thing is, I'm worried like about excursions, because I know you got to be back at a certain time or you get left, and we have a tendency to wander, especially when we're someplace new.
And by we, she means me.
And she disappears on me for like large moments at a time.
Well,
and
this
then
is especially at Target. So if I get overwhelmed in Target, if I'm like totally like I need a little introverty time, I will be. She thinks I just disappear like that, but I'm like, I see a spot over there where no one is. I'm gonna go look there for a minute.
and I'll walk around the whole store like 3 times. Like I'll get like 5,000 steps.
Well, good. You're getting your daily exercise.
See? That's really what I'm doing.
Right? Yeah.
But here's the alternative. If you like walking, Arizona's got beautiful hikes. So, you know, you could take a little trip, and one of the most beautiful areas is Sedona, Arizona, where we're going to go for 5 days in April. Gorgeous red rocks, just beautiful, though it's expensive to stay there mostly, unless you can get a deal. But, you know, you could go there, and then you travel down to Tucson and come stay with us for free for a couple of days, and we'll take you on a couple of hikes here, you know? So if you had ever worked out, you know, the Happy Vegan Couple will be happy to have you come.
Aw,
Thank you.
that's so very sweet of you guys. And it's just been such a pleasure getting to hang out with you today. So thank you so much for all the beautiful food you made and all the great information you gave us today.
Yes.
We really appreciate it. And you and all the things you're
Yes.
trying to do for the community as well.
Thank you. We appreciate all of us. And that's really what I felt with this whole bundle. Everybody's been so gracious and sweet. You know, we don't know how to do the lives. I don't know how to do this broadcasting, so I couldn't do lives. I only know how to do a Zoom and upload it to YouTube. That's the limit of the experience. But you've all been so sweet and wonderful and gracious for, you know, we being first timers. Hopefully we'll be in this again next year, because it's been a wonderful experience and it's great content. And we just want to thank you again.
Remember, food brings friends together.
It's true.
Yes.
You know.
Absolutely.
We like to have more friends who eat like us. That's really what we're proud of.
Exactly.
Georgie's just asking Kathy. He wants to do the ending like we do on our YouTube channel.
Go for it.
Absolutely.
All right, honey. And again, thank you guys so much. You're so sweet. We just love this. So, everybody, until we see you next time at our YouTube channel, I'm Denise.
I'm Georgie.
And we're the Happy Vegan Couple. Go plant-based, optimize your life. Don't get chronic disease and enjoy plants. They're so powerful. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
We'll
and
see you
happy
later.
bundle.
Bye.